Hello there! Thanks a lot for coming by PosterCentral.com's video blog today. I'm Pete Howard, and oh my goodness, wow, to many people, this is simply the best looking Beatles concert poster ever made. Hands down, period. Oh my God, just check this thing out. And not only does it have spectacular graphics, and colors, man, I Want to Hold Your Hand had just entered the British charts the previous week and gone straight to #1. So, what a time. It's unimaginable. And their second album, The Killer with the Beatles in England, had just entered the charts 2 weeks prior. So, oh man, what a time. I guess the one downside for the Beatles at this exact moment in their career, this was the first British tour where they were completely crushed by Beatlemania. For the first time, the Beatles had no chance of hearing themselves on stage, and they were pretty much complete prisoners in their hotel rooms unless they put on real disguises. But you know, to a lot of people, a lot of collectors, that just makes this poster all the more exciting, because you've still got their youthful innocence and, you know, exuberance and everything, and the Ed Sullivan Show in America was still 2 months away. But wow, just get a load of this artwork, huh? This is something else. Against, you know, bright yellow, blue, and red graphics, it says, the exciting, dynamic, fabulous Beatles, with floating heads of George, Ringo, Paul, and John in that order, and only Ringo is not, everybody except Ringo is not just smiling, they're actually laughing. I mean, it just really has so much exuberance. And then you've got musical notes and action lines flying everywhere. And then this fun red oval down here, this is really a kick too. It says, free, super picture of the Beatles in program, on sale in the theater only. Well, okay, that might be a little bit of a come on, because you had to buy something to get that freebie, but you know, it certainly adds to the fun of the poster to have that oval on there. Just a quick top-to-bottom scan for you of this beautiful masterpiece in different lighting to give you a different perspective on it. Just spectacular graphics, just amazing. Down at the very bottom there under Frank Berry, the original poster did have a yellow stripe that gave ticket prices, but in this case it was trimmed off way back decades ago, probably by somebody who either wanted to, you know, just lose the ticket prices or fit it into a frame. Nice to see that paper quality, you know, that you don't want mint on things like this, and that just looks so old on the edges and everything. And we get another look at the venue information as well. Again, some more aging there in the margins, little tears and things like that. Do not detract at all from its value. Just gives you the feel that it's, you know, you have a really old piece here on your hands. The boys themselves are certainly worth a closer look for a moment, along with those crazy fun action words right next to them. And here's the red oval with a little bit of added value for concert goers. Okay, so going down the other acts on the poster, under the Fabs you have the Brook Brothers, a pop duo fashioned very much after the Everly Brothers. And it's kind of weird, by their name it says Britain's Top Disc Double. That's a bit awkward. And they're billed with the Rhythm and Blues Quartet. They had a handful of top 40 hits from 61 to 63, but then faded away. So then, after the Brook Brothers, you have the dynamic Peter J. and the Jaywalkers. The only act on this whole poster with song titles. Hey man, how did they rate? That's not fair. But I suppose it's okay. I mean, I just can't even imagine if up by the Beatles it said She Loves You and I Want to Hold Your Hand, their last two singles. I think I would just melt down and the world would spit off its axis or something. I mean, oh man. So whatever, the Jaywalkers got the songs. It does say Can Can 62. That was a top 40 hit for them a year ago. An instrumental, you know the song, dun 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 dun. Yeah, that was their hit. And then Totem Pole is on the poster as well. That was their follow-up in early 63, but turns out Can Can was their only charting record. However, what I do like about Peter J. and the Jaywalkers, and this might have had something to do with them being on the tour, way back in February of this year, 63, they filled in for a Beatles concert obligation so the Liverpool lads could go down to London and record their entire first album all in one day, except for the singles. So that's really a nice, nice feather in their cap, absolutely. So then you've got the glamorous Vernon's Girls. Now they were from Liverpool, and they had only one hit, a top 20 cover version of Clyde McPhatter's Lover Please, Please Come Back. And then under that, or next to that, whichever it is, Britain's ace vocal group, the Kestrels. Now they never charted a record, but they had been on the Beatles' Helen Shapiro tour back in February and March, as well as this tour, so they obviously made a good impression back then. And then lastly on this poster you have comedian and magician Frank Berry serving as the MC. Now, it was pretty rough sledding for all these opening acts. As I said, this was the first Beatle tour that Beatlemania just engulfed everybody. And, it's easy to read accounts of this. The fans would be chanting, "We want the Beatles," during the opening acts. They had to have a real strong constitution and a lot of patience to put up with that stuff. It was just pure anarchy by this point. But, the Beatles didn't need these opening acts to sell tickets anymore, but Brian Epstein famously kept all his commitments made back before they were big, and so the tours went on, and the opening acts, well, they just put up with it, but of course they could always say the rest of their lives, "I opened for the Beatles." And Epstein's commitments, by the way, also carried over to the Beatles' fee, £300 a night for this tour, or about $230. Okay, so we haven't really taken a look at the top yet, which had the changing information from show to show. This was a tour blank, as I said earlier, designed with that yellow area up top to be blank initially, and then filled in with all the various dates. This was used for the entire 6-week autumn tour of the UK by the Beatles, exactly November 1 through December 13. So, as you can see, this was at the tour's end, Wednesday, December 11th in Scarborough, England, coastal resort in the northeast part of the country. And yes, that traditional folk classic Scarborough Fair was written about this town, covered by people like Simon and Garfunkel and about 1 million other people. And as you can see, it does say the Futurist. That was a historic theater built way back in 1921. Interestingly, the year I'm recording this video blog, 2016, it was scheduled for demolition. Then it says on the stage, 6:25 and 8:45, minimalist information, but of course everybody knew it was the evening, PM time. And then, right above Paul's head there, Arthur Howe's Presents, a huge pop promoter in England at the time. Now, as far as I know, again, a busy autumn tour, month and a half, there were 3 sizes produced of this beautiful graphic, concert poster to sell tickets for the tour. This huge 20 by 30 inch paper piece, just a beauty, a much smaller window card, and a handbill as well with a booking form. So I'm going to show you those other 2 real quickly here. Okay, here's a handbill, obviously a blown up enlargement so you can see it well, from the 3rd date on the tour, and the handbill was of course a cheaper scaled down version of all the graphics. No blue or yellow, just red and black, and that postal booking form down at the bottom. And here's an image of the 10 by 15 inch window card from 2 weeks into the tour. Now, what I find so fascinating about this poster's artwork in the 3 different marketing sizes is that they didn't just use the same plate, they actually redrew all of this artwork and everything in each case. It's just amazing. There's lots and lots of little subtle differences to point that out. I think the easiest one to show you is these 2 musical notes down there in the yellow area. Notice how the bottom of them are pointing to the left. And then here, as well as the one above Ringo's head, those little musical notes are pointing to the right. So no big deal, of course, but just really interesting how the artwork was drawn 3 different times. I'm just not quite sure I get it. Plus there's lots of other little more subtle, fascinating differences to really prove the point. Boy, I'll tell you, the She Loves You, I Want to Hold Your Hand Beatles in late '63 with a spectacular concert poster. Oh boy, just the top of the game. It doesn't get any better than this. Just wonderful. So, hope you enjoyed it. Thanks a lot for dropping by, and we'll see you again for something soon. Bye-bye.